Y'all rock with DJFmi and of course
Qianathegoddess.
And we're here at VPR Radio, and guess what we love? You know what we love, Qiana?
What do we love?
We love when people interact with us on social media, yes. Instagram, Spotify, iHeartRadio, the list goes on. And what else, Qiana?
We love to hear your comments. We love to hear your questions. We love when you call us. And we love when you tell us what you want to discuss. So hit our VPR Radio group. Hit us up on VPR_radio on all major platforms. Definitely go and follow this guy.
Why not? Why not? And follow this beautiful woman here.
Qianathegoddess.
Tune in every Thursday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Here on radiofreebrooklyn.org/VPR Radio. We love you for watching.
All right. And we do love you for watching. Almost making 8 years in, bro. Big things are going, man.
I'm sorry. What's going on, Qiana? I just had to open the window. New York City, it is heating up. Even though it's not heating up, you know what I mean? We have like a few days of good weather. We don't know that.
Right.
Good weather is in 30s.
Right. It's been like -11 wind chill. So again, it feels like summer now, right? Compared to, but like I was just saying behind the scenes, it's about to get cold again. I was listening to the forecast this morning, like, oh, please, Puerto Rico, here I come.
Yeah, I'm gonna be stepping out to Texas in the morning. You know, I'm gonna be situating a few stages for South by Southwest. That's gonna be coming up.
Yes, sir.
And I'm linking my DJ homies out there in Texas. So
amazing.
I'm going to be recording some BTS footage for VPR Radio on anything that I do in Texas, and we'll go from there.
I love it. South by Southwest has just been getting bigger and bigger, and I really love to see the growth. And yeah, partner, you're doing some really, really phenomenal things, man. Can't stop.
No, both of us are. Nah, yeah. It's mad funny you say that. I haven't said the can't stop. Yeah. I haven't said no. Said no Diddy bar references in a while now. Qiana, last time I posted on our shorts for YouTube, when I did the how you wanted to start your morning.
The MTA.
It did really well. So I'm starting to think, you know, some of our base. Shout out to everybody that tuned in from YouTube, Facebook, wherever you tune in, TikTok. We really do appreciate you here. So once again,
you know what it is.
yeah. So I think that the people that view our channel really appreciate that. So Qiana, I want to start with, how's your morning?
My morning has been nice and calm, which I'm appreciative of always. So it's just been a good flow. And, you know, anytime I'm coming to VPR, I'm already feeling good. I'm feeling amped. Like no matter how my week has been going, VPR is a big bright spot for me. So I do love, you know, our guests. We've got Pudgee coming back on today. You know, I'm thrilled. That's fam right there. And I mean, he's got so many things going on, filmmaking, and y'all will find out. He doesn't do many interviews. You know what I'm saying? So
I was surprised. Honestly, I've been watching him globetrot right now. VPR, if you haven't been tuned into Pudgee Tha Phat Bastard, we have had him on our platform before. He is a legendary MC, along with what he does in the entertainment industry, and now branching into movies. Okay. So you guys are going to catch up with him when he gets here. I think when I last seen him on Facebook, he was in Kenya.
You're right.
He was just in Kenya kicking it. I was like, yes, I love when people are doing like side quests in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like people, I ain't nosy or nothing, right? But I seen it. I happen to see it. You know,
same. And I love that because, you know, like now you see me, now you don't. You don't know where I'm going to be. And
gone.
Same. You make your announcements as you need to for the people that need to come to your venue and such. But I know you move the same way, bro. I'll be like, where's everybody? It's like, where's Waldo? Or San Diego. Where in the world is FMI?
You know what's missing in this industry? We interview a lot of artists, and in my opinion, my humble opinion, for the time that I put in this industry, we're missing a little bit of mystique. That's what Michael Jackson, that's what Prince, that's what Travis Scott uses to a certain, you know, degree.
Yeah.
And when you have that mystique about you and that unpredictability, that really just sparks a fire for people who want to invest in what you're doing, maybe your projects or whatever. So that's what that is. So Qiana, like I said, the people on the channel seem to like this question that I seem to ask you. How you want to start your morning? Do you want to start it on a brighter note, or you want to jump into the thick of it?
Okay, this last time I went straight into the thick and I wasn't ready. So we're gonna start it on a lighter note this morning.
Oh, cool.
Oh, honey, I was like, oh, I'm back in Brooklyn.
It's the Brooklyn experience. You can't knock it. So let me bring this video up right now, guys. If you haven't been privy in the industry, the Grammys have happened. Shout out to all the winners. We had so many people grace the red carpet. Shout out to Tech. I seen him out there doing this thing. He always getting around.
Yeah.
So I'll bring it up to Black Boy Max was one of the people nominated, one of the artists nominated at the Grammys, and you know he's in that crossover period where he's a streamer and he's doing a transition into music fully as a producer and as a rapper. So he's worked very hard to be here, but you VPR, what you can see is when you get humbled when you're in these different spaces within the industry. You know, the hip-hop industry is not the same market that's going to be watching the Grammys. You feel me? It's not going to be the YNs that watch you in your stream that's going to translate to the Grammys. So here's some secondhand embarrassment for you. But shout out to him because, of course, one, you made it to the Grammys. I can never pop it. But here's some secondhand embarrassment.
Yo, I like y'all. Nah, bro. Why he just
VPR, like this keeps happening on stream where people are just walking by him thinking that he actually works for.
Oh, hey. Hi. I have Jamal and Jamal Roberts, American Idol, and John. Can we get a shot? Are you with the Grammys?
What'd you say?
Is this the Grammys camera?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
People was flaming him in the stream. Like,
no,
I was watching.
This is Black Boy Max.
Okay.
All right.
No. Sorry.
Told you I'm not shitting. It's cool. Yeah.
At least he's self-aware. VPR.
All this shit, Jack. It's cool. Give me a year.
Oh, hey.
Hi. Bro, Chance the Rapper, bro. Chance the Rapper, bro.
You know what I mean? So some people are trolling, but what he quickly found out during this stream is
it doesn't even look like Chance.
We lost.
It's not. You know how these streamers be trolling. They're gonna come up to you and try to see if they can clip farm you, hop in your live, and say whatever. I thought that was one very dope of him to drop the content. You feel what I'm saying? Most people are gonna be embarrassed by it to not even want to post that. People are walking up to you on the Grammys. Hey, do you work here? Can you interview this one? No.
Right. My own entity. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I respect him for even posting the content, you know, in the chat. You know, you got younger people watching, so they're going to flame them up and, you know, say what they got to say.
Sure. But I mean, even with the flaming, right? It only runs your numbers up. It's only going to still get him paid. So views are views. When it comes to streaming, is there really a bad end for the streamer, whether he's, you know, getting flamed or they're loving everything he's doing?
I'm glad you said that.
Yep.
If they're a bad thing to streaming, that's perfect. VPR, pay attention to the next video I'll bring up here. You see, I had to walk it through it slightly before we have our guest up here.
I stepped right in.
I'm not rude. Aspen Cartier. All right. If you're not too familiar with her, she is a Chicago hip-hop artist. She's been blowing up online for the wrong reasons as of late. If you're squeamish and you're afraid of hearing animal abuse or anything like that, I advise you to turn off your volume because this video is a little bit hard to watch. So she was on stream, guys, and
if you missed it, a girl named Aspen Cartier recently got a brand new puppy. At some point, the dog managed to get out of its crotchety walk. So
let me see if I could get this pulled up here. But she goes on stream hitting the dog, and the dog is yelping. It's a hard video to listen to. And now she's been banned on YouTube. Well, not banned on Twitch and from a few other platforms, and dropped from her label. And now she's trying to backtrack.
I'm a faker. Tell him. I'm a faker. I just like to cry. So I want to pick me up.
Find the video chat.
So I can lay with somebody. So I
can
can do something with somebody.
But Key, this is what I'm saying. What I've come to understand is we give a platform
to anybody.
Yeah, and then when it doesn't work out in their favor, like what would make you go online?
Yeah.
And then discipline your dog, and if once I get up the video, you'll fully understand.
Ugh.
And she quickly got dropped from her label, and I'm just like, how silly must you be to drop the bag like this? Like I don't understand.
It's like the same people that go streaming waving a gun and stuff, and they're already on probation, right? Like, and they're around a live video doing it. It's just like, what are you thinking about? But I think what happens is people do get lost in where they are, and their true sides will come out, because a lot of people put on a personality, right, to come online. It's their persona. It's not necessarily who they are. What they exude a lot of times is false. And then there are some people that are just authentic through and through. But like whatever they were following her for, because I'm not aware of this young lady, but whoever her followers were, they definitely got turned off with her obviously abusing a little puppy. I don't know what the F is wrong with that girl, but I'm sure now she's got a lot of hate mail coming her way because
Peter already showed up and got her arrested.
Oh
yeah. So you to make
don't piss off Peter.
Don't piss off Peter. Don't piss off Peter. I'm trying to see if I can find the video, and it's like a little toy poodle, man. That's the thing, and it's just chirping. And
so imagine what she would do to a child, right? That's an animal. Imagine. Reckless. Completely reckless. I mean, unacceptable.
Yeah, VPR. I don't know if it's the universe at hand trying to stop me from finding the video.
It's not, the universe said no.
I said this the one time.
The universe is pushing back. But giving everybody a platform can be, it's reckless. Again, technology, the internet, the way that you use it, it can be so great. AI, all of those things, or it can be terrible. The same with money, the same with anything. And if it creates revenue and creates greed, believe me, there's going to be a lot of evil that's done as a result.
I'll be seeing how I hate how we change the terms like rage baiting. Nah, it's just being called. You're just being a dickhead. Like, we don't got to change the term. We can just call you what you are. You know what I mean? Being an asshole, but there's so many ways they sugarcoat it now.
Why they say rage baiting, because that literally is what it is. They're putting out these sort of prompts, if you will, right, to get the responsiveness from the people.
It's like the people that go to HBCUs and then say some
right, but the
wild stuff,
Why do they do it? Again, because they're monetized, and the more you come at them with all the hate or whatever, the more it just runs up their comments and stuff. So the best thing that you could do with those people is not be lured in by the bait, right? And just like take that shit off your timeline, because if you feel like you're going to be lured in, and usually they're just doing it for, shucking and jiving, or just to run their comments up. So I'm like, I don't support that fuckery.
Shucking and jiving.
Shucking and
jiving. It's the first time I heard this word this year, so I can appreciate that.
And jiving, you see it a lot.
We didn't even, Kiana, we've been sitting here chopping it up. We didn't even go over Grammys and nominations and things like that. But we could save that for when our guest gets up here and we can have a chat with Pudge.
Yes, because I see that he has slid in. I mean, he needs no real introduction, because if you know hip hop, then you know this man. So we're gonna bring Pudgee Tha Phat Bastard, aka PTPB, back to VPR. Hola.
Hey, VPR, you see how you came up here looking too cool?
Hello, Pudge. Hello.
What's going on, my brother?
This is too cool. How dare you? Now, since we gotta turn up,
okay,
what's going on?
What's popping?
Hey man, we just enjoyed the blessings of the year. It's the top of the year, 2026. Me and Kiana have been kicking off just our year with some great guests. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. And we're gonna be posting a lot of footage. But how are you, my brother? How are you?
So hold on. Happy New Year and all that. God bless. I'm glad. I hope your families are safe. I hope your money's flowing in. Okay. I know January be the struggle month. Yes. I'm gonna say this. You said you've been having amazing guests from the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So this must be your first show. Perfect. All right. That's exactly what I'm talking about. All right. So shout out to everybody that's going to be coming on this year. I'm glad to set it off as the first show of the year. This is amazing.
Yes, sir. VPR, y'all heard it here first.
Yeah. So I don't even know where to begin, because y'all, to me, y'all are so active. And the one thing I can say is you guys are consistent, and you bring stories forward from people that are actually doing something, and it's not smoke and mirrors.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. As a journalist, as a student and graduate of media and honor student, shout out to Lehman College. I really appreciate the way that you present people's achievements and their forward movement. So clap it up for VPR.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yes. So what's up with y'all? Like I don't know. You know, I don't talk about myself, so I have to get asked questions.
Oh, I can't get all into it because you.
Qiana, you want to kick it off? Because I got a lot.
I'm gonna let you start because I know you're ready. Go ahead, go for it.
Okay.
You see, for the people that aren't privy to Pudgee Tha Phat Bastard's body of work and who he is, you're gonna get to know him in this interview. Now, I'm gonna be a little bit more selfish, VPR, and the people that are watching right now. Like I said before, you know, he came up here. I thought I'd seen this man in Kenya. I thought I'd seen this man globetrotting. So to see him here on our platform today, I am so interested in what we're going to be covering.
So we talking about Kenya today?
Well, that's a part of the story.
Fire. Fire. Shit, am I supposed to just, that's my cue?
The floor is yours.
That's your cue.
There's a lot. And I wouldn't know where to actually begin. So I'm just gonna say my father. Now listen, I don't want to get into any emotional places. So I'm just gonna say my father was Ghanaian. He was getting more into his ancestry and reconnecting with family, and he's from the Ashanti tribe. He passed several years ago, been going on 5. And I kept telling myself that I needed to explore Africa. I started to talk to people, and I'm kind of a rebel. Like if you tell me rap isn't really a career, then I'm gonna go write rhymes. You know, that's just who I am. So it came to me that I felt that I needed to know more about Africa because people I started to talk to were saying horrible things. They were like, what you going there for? They don't have this and they don't have that. Instead of saying what they do have and talking from a perspective of resources or untapped resources or undiscovered things or people that are brilliant, it was just negative. And I said, wow, you're sitting in America, a place that is not of your DNA, but you're talking about the place that you actually are from. Because I tell some of these people, you go do your ancestry, your DNA workup, and you see that you're from Benin, you're from Togo, you're from somewhere in Nigeria. You know, you've got whatever, right? You've got whatever in your DNA, and that's the place. That's the actual reason that you exist. But you are denouncing it because of what you've heard and how you've been indoctrinated, right? And I can't even repeat some of the things I heard because I almost lost friendships listening. I don't like ignorance. I don't care if we have different views. I don't like ignorance. I need you to be fact-based when we're debating. I'm fine with learning all the time because if you stop learning, you stop living. But when you start talking to people and they're talking from corner store information or a quick blurb you've seen on the internet, or as I told people, the commercial that they showed us when we were children that were people in Africa with flies on their faces and a mangy dog that was rabid.
Yo, they ran that ad 24/7.
Seriously.
What?
Ribs
the 90s was.
Right? You would never think that Africa was a prosperous continent with so much beauty and so much resources, right?
All you would hear is that commercial, and the next commercial to follow. If you are a loved one has suffered from mesothelioma, call 1-800. You would hear those too. That's what I remember. But go ahead. But yes, please.
No, I appreciate you guys verifying what I'm saying. Because most people, that is their snapshot, which is what I call it, of Africa. Maybe you saw kente cloth. Maybe you think of Africa as a fad from 125th Street in Harlem when you saw Martin 25 and you saw kente cloth and beads and you thought of it as a novelty that tourists picked up, or the people that you thought were weird and older that had tribal, pictures in their home that you saw on the news. But you never really, to me, correlated any of this to a culture, to a people, to what it represents, to how it's been traditionally passed on to people to keep them tethered to the culture which they pass forward. So as I started to talk to people, and they were...
Can I just interject on that one?
Sure.
I love that you said that. And I think the problem, the root cause of that is the fact that because of slavery, right, and us being brought over, that sense of culture from so many of us has been lost. People think that culture for African Americans is synonymous with either hip hop or like urban life, right? Which is wild. That's culture.
It is. It is when you start to see how much of us really is cultural, how much we are culturally inspired from things we don't even realize, and we think we've owned and created these things, and these things come from a diaspora that you've never visited but will talk about derisively at the drop of a dime. You'll call people African booty scratchers, you'll talk about skin colors and textures and hair grade, and don't realize that this is the reason that you exist. And many of the benefits of these things you're being robbed of because people are indoctrinating you and you're chasing a dream that actually is not your own. So that being said, I was going to do a documentary on Nigeria first. I have a lot of Nigerian friends and filmmakers and actors and clothes makers and makeup artists, all these beautiful women that do everything. There's a guy right now that in Africa that's making wigs from from banana leaf. Some of the most ingenious people are from Nigeria. And as I began to study, they had a doctor recently who halfway through a woman's pregnancy, maybe 6 months, maybe 5 months. Don't quote me. You can Google it. The child was having issues internally. So he took the baby out, operated on the baby, and placed the baby back in the womb to continue being nurtured and brought to full term. Are you kidding me?
Right. Because at that point, it's literally a fragile little fetus. You know,
exactly. And how did you think you could accomplish this?
Right.
How did you believe this was achievable? And so for me, a lot of people equate Africa with the commercial I spoke of or scamming, which I'm going to give some context to that. 419, which is what they call scammers, comes from a region in Africa that it's almost like an area code, right? So they call you a 419 if you're a scammer. But to be a scammer, you've got to be pretty brilliant. You know, some of the high level internet scams and hackings that have taken place takes a big brain. So what you should do, because this country, is continent, but the country of Nigeria is devoid of some of these resources, hire these brilliant people and train them and give them a sustainable life so that they don't have to do that. Seriously. I started to find those things compelling. So I was doing a Nigeria documentary. Unfortunately, at the time, bans started to happen from our government. And my friends were telling me things like I need security and you don't look like us, even though I'm half African. You know, you don't have the skin, so there are bandits and all of this information I'm learning. So it was off-putting, and the ban was the most off-putting thing when I started to talk to the travel agent. So we shifted and we were going to go somewhere else in Africa to do a documentary. My friend and I were talking about, we were going to go to Akwa Ibom and do a film in Nigeria, but everything started just getting so tense. So we then went to look at Morocco. Morocco was not accepting visas from Nigerians, and I wanted my Nigerian crew to come film it with me. So that was a little bit of a detour. Anyway, we ended up in Kenya. Someone said, "What about Kenya?" And in my mind, it's one of those names that you've just heard growing up. Kenya. You know, girls named Kenya, Kenya. But what is Kenya? I have to say, I booked the flight. We all flew out there, and I didn't want to come back to this place.
I can imagine.
The food, the people. We stayed in East Lake North at first, and the Somali people really are densely populated there. I learned so much. I had KFC that doesn't have the menu that we have.
Yeah, I mean, the minute you leave the United States, it all changes,
Right.
right, when it comes to the.
And it's true, you know, even Canada, Europe,
Sure.
they're not allowed to have a lot of the poisons that we have in our food. But
That's
Kenya
right.
gave me this pure tasting food. I mean, listen, we had Oreo milkshakes, we had biryani rice, you know, all of these things that were culturally theirs. The hotel we were in, shout out to the Baraka Hotel, the waitresses, all beautiful, all bodies that were not tampered with, but all no augmented bodies, but God did that bodies with personalities, right? With personalities that were, how are you this nice and you look like this? And you know, for us guys coming from America, looking a certain way is usually someone affecting a personality that's whatever.
Yeah.
Tipping culture, I learned about that. I would ask the waitresses because they were going above and beyond. I would say, do people tip here? And they're like, some. That made me feel bad.
Hey, some
people don't really tip. So that expectation of tipping and gratuity is not there.
Interesting.
Their food and everything compared to our dollar is pennies on a dollar, right? So I feel like you should be pouring into that community instead of haggling them. I understand that maybe that's the way, but for me, if you're coming from here and your dollar's worth more, sure, you're going to benefit, but taking advantage is a different thing. So I wasn't there for that. So we went to the Kenyatta International Convention Center, one of the tallest buildings. We went to the top, almost got blown off the roof. You should visit.
Listen,
don't recommend me death casually.
Listen, I'm recommending you life. Kenya, listen, I don't even know how to talk about this place in a compressed moment to really sell you on. I can say everyone was kind. I don't care. There were hordes of people. It was like Canal Street in the 80s where we first landed, and thousands of people moving at a fast and furious pace, but everyone looked like they had a purpose. Everyone was going somewhere. No one was idly standing around just chilling. Everybody was selling t-shirts, selling socks, driving bikes, transporting people, cooking food, selling perfume. I didn't see somebody who didn't have a penchant for life.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me was shocking.
I look different from the TV, the commercial I've been seeing.
The commercial didn't exist at that point.
And also very different from the lifestyle that is exuded in media for Black people with the connotation of laziness, right? But yet you see everybody moving, everybody on the go, everybody making money doing something.
I think that everyone should, I know that everyone should get out of their domicile, should get out of their comfort zone in community and go experience something. Immerse yourself in everything. I wanted to live in a part in Kenya that I was immersed. I saw all type of, places. They've got this place called the Village Market, which in my mind, because I'm from here, was a market, right? I get there and it's this sprawling mall with the tree of life across the street. And the mall's got a social club where anyone can come in. Here you would think social club is like for someone affluent and who goes in there. This place had billiards, it had food, it had music, it had pool. Yeah, I said pool tables. It had Scrabble games tables set up for anyone to come in and just chill out. White people in there, Black people in there, Chinese people, just everybody chilling. I was like, yeah, I don't know if this would work in America.
Right. It's not elitist enough.
It's not elitist enough. And different denominations just chilling and not bothering the hell out of each other.
Right.
It was a life-changing experience for me.
Yeah.
I've toured, I've done things, but the one thing I tell people as an artist, as a touring artist, a recording artist, when you're on the label's dime and time, you get off the plane, you meet the street team, you go to your hotel. After your hotel, you go meet with a couple of people, you wait for the street team again, the street team takes you to the radio station, you go to the radio station, you meet all the radio people, you talk to them, you interview, then you go to the club to do a sound check, then later you go back to your hotel to get something to eat, then you come home, after your show and you perform, and maybe you go hang out a little bit after that, but you don't learn the town.
Right.
You don't see what the people that are hardworking there have to deal with every day. You don't see everyday traffic. You don't see what it's like, how people interact. Some places, I remember I went to Minnesota in 1997, 5, 6, whatever. And being from Harlem and the Bronx, we're taught to ask somebody, what you looking at when they staring at you.
Right.
So I was burning holes in people's face with my eyes like,
oh, I know.
And they were like, hello. I was like, what?
Yeah, I seen a meme about that. Qiana, there's nothing worse than when you were like a teenager or a little kid walking to the store, and the dudes on the corner that just stare at you. What you looking at?
What? Oh.
They said, you know what's funny? Those dudes don't exist no more because the YNs carry switches now. So the nigga at the store that just wait for you. And what you looking at? Just watch you all the way we go by. So
I mean, what you looking at is wild right now.
Yeah,
I'm looking at your life ending right now.
Okay.
So,
back to this life we celebrate.
It's true. It's true. So I'm gonna put a pin in that by just saying I'm doing a short documentary on that and my experience there. But I tell everyone, please leave your block. Don't just go to work and go home. Don't go to your brunches and your little parties and think you lived, because factually you did not. All right.
Agreed.
Now we can segue into what else is going on.
Yeah. We're gonna leave it at that because there's definitely so much to unwrap and
and I'm excited. I can talk forever about Kenya.
I know, and now we all want to go and join you on your next trip. But I think that was a perfect segue as you were talking about the documentary into your filmmaking, because you are obviously best known for, your musical prowess and writing for others and making music. I mean, the way that music and your voice and your mind all kind of click together and come together and work with the production and everything is just a beautiful, beautiful synergy.
Thank you.
Now you've segued into, you're welcome. You've segued into filmmaking, right? And already have some films that are out. So definitely want to hear all about that and where that journey kind of came from, what prompted doing this, if you will.
So it's kind of strange. I've always been, because we're in the world of music, you get into media, you learn how to be behind the camera, and sometimes you graduate to having vision in front of the camera and being behind the camera on the other side. You can see from both sides at some point if you've got that skill set developing. And, I went around to the movie sets back in the days, New Jack City and all these other movie sets, but I was bored. I don't want to stand on a set for 18 hours waiting to say one line. It's not my body. So I stuck to music where I could be active. I knew that if I did this song, I could spit this song on stage, make them feel me, do the video, bring my vision forward, and that was that. But I'm a writer, so I always wrote, and I've always had, I guess, a vision to communicate my life experiences, like you just showed, checking out the Avenue, which was my first song produced by Frank Nitty from the Trackmasters in 1993. I saw things from a different angle. I saw the world taking place in a way that my younger self could talk about, but still didn't realize how it was impacting me, but I could see how it was impacting others. And I remember a line from Checking Out the Avenue that really still sticks with me. It's a lot of them, but when I talk about selling drugs, because I had a lot of friends that were in the streets young, and I say getting foul for the vile, some 2 for 7, but missing out on your childhoods, which you're really getting. I don't even, yeah, mothers cry as they identify their child in the morgue with a tag on their toe. Like, that's what was happening around me all the time. And I didn't realize I was writing from trauma. I was writing from what was happening to them in front of me that vicariously I was having happen to me. It was changing the way I viewed the world. It was changing the value of friendships, because when you would lose somebody that was walking home from school with you, you know, it made you a different person. You didn't know how to cope with that trauma. It forever changes you. So when I wrote that song, people tell me when they listen back to the first album that I was angry. And I say, really? I never felt angry, but I guess in the video right there, when you just showed, I had just fought an entire police precinct. I know it sounds like Superman, but I have a black eye in the video. There's a picture of Queen Latifah and myself at her party with me with that same black eye. I fought the police because they came and tried to get me out of the passenger seat of a car because I wouldn't show them my license. And I was like, I'm not driving. Why you want my license? So we happened to be by Edenwald Projects in front of the precinct. So that gives context to the entire precinct. And the way I was doing, the dude put his hand around my neck. And anyone who does martial arts, I put his hand in a C-lock so he couldn't move his arm. And I just kept telling him, if you move it, you're going to break it yourself.
Yeah.
And he had his hand on my neck. I had my hand on his arm, but he couldn't move, and we were in a Pathfinder. So I wanted him off of me. And, they say after the first 2 minutes of a fight, it becomes technical. Probably 30 seconds in, it gets technical for me. So I just started punching him in the face because I really wanted to break his arm. And I guess when the other police officers saw that I would not relinquish hold, they started pouring out of the precinct like ants. And
VPR, this is wild now. And we got the video playing. This is like I feel like I'm there, but go ahead.
And by the time, the only reason that they got me out is because the driver of the Pathfinder that I was in was yelling, "Let them go, Trey! Let him go!" Because I was not going to let him go. I was just punching him in his face because he wouldn't get his hand off my neck, but he couldn't get out of the C-lock. So finally, I let him go, and they pulled me out the car, and they were kicking me in my eye, and I was in my underwear in front of Edenwald Projects, and all the chicks were out there screaming, "Leave him alone!" It was lit. Oh, shout out to Al Sharpton. I wish no good for you, because Al Sharpton, when my mom's called, did not want to help in that instance of police brutality. So I don't care what he purports to people. He is not an advocate for everyone. He chooses to get involved in what he wants. He does not stand up for everyone, and I will forever be stained by that as well. So Al Sharpton, I wish you no well.
Well,
now
that's a hell of a way to start the morning, VPR. I like that.
You heard it here first on VPR.
You can't change this man's experience, and
absolutely
during that time, just listening to what he went through, not even on no hip hop shit.
Yeah,
I just thought it was a song. Now I'm seeing why he felt that way behind the record, why he's spitting it this way, and I'm now it's painting the picture for me, and I'm like, oh shit,
that's why I'm fighting the cop in the video. I put that scene in there specifically to represent that moment. So yeah, people don't know. I mean, and I'm a resistor by nature. Those who know me know that I'm a hands-on person. I've graduated from that now, but it's still there.
That's right.
And I advocate for people now in a different way. Also, I'm gonna go, since we're in this texture of this conversation at this moment, and I don't want to change the complexion. I want to talk about our people. Recently, from the whole Kenya thing, I had to do a certificate of conduct, is what it's called. You go down to one police plaza, you take your fingerprints, and they send you a paper in the mail. The paper never came. I called. They told me that oh, it was delayed. I have to come pick it up. I go down there and there are 3 felonies on my record. So suddenly I'm having imposter syndrome. There's a grand larceny. There's me with a firearm and me doing a car theft. Things that are totally out of my character. I've never stolen anything in my life except maybe a ream of paper at a job or something. I don't steal. It's just not in my body. I've had my own car since 16, not in my body. So I was looking at the paper and I was definitely trying to understand how this could be me, but it brought me to Emmett Till. I'm sorry. It brought me back to the precinct in the Bronx, thinking about the way that someone can just make you someone that you're not at the push of a button. I then took it upon myself to write the Department of Justice. This just happened last month. I wrote the Department of Justice. They told me that they would set up fingerprinting, and then I'd go from there. I did 2 different fingerprint tests with the Department of Justice, and none of that was on my record. Meanwhile, I spent hours on the phone with Miss Montana and her crew at One Police Plaza, who told me this is what came back. They gave me no out. This is you. It says. I mean, that's what it says. I don't care what it says, bro. Where is the cases that show my face being booked and going through trial or whatever I did, copped the plea to grand larceny, shooting up the block, and stealing a car?
Right.
They had no recourse. They had no rebuttal. They said nothing. They left me in the wind. They told me they would call me back. They never called me back. Mm-hmm. I feel that for us as a people, there are many people experiencing this. And I suggest that at this point, everyone go get their certificate of conduct to make sure that you know what's going on behind the scenes. Because the moment that you want to do something, and it was odd. It was odd because they asked you the purpose of why you want the certificate when you go. And I said, for immigration. So I'm thinking, is this getting mixed up in this climate of them trying to outcast other countries and they don't want us to travel? Because I just watched something where they're saying, if you got a pension, they don't want you taking your pension and leaving outside of the country. How can you tell me, who worked for 30 years for your company, where I can live after my old, tired body has given you all I have to get?
Exactly.
So I'm not anti anything, but I am, now I'm going to take that back. I am anti taking advantage of people. Mm-hmm. I am anti taking away rights. And then, sometimes people say, you don't have any rights. I don't know what that means. But if you tell me I have rights, I'm going to read the fine print and see that it says here, this belongs to me. I can do this. Why is that not happening in the way that it's indicated here? Coming from the young person that had a lot of instances with police officers, I don't know. It was like my light was a target. They would just pull me over and say, where you headed to? And I would say, you looking for a hot club? Why are you asking me where I'm going? So I think that I just want to say the younger people of today, is my message, need to really set themselves up to be bulletproof. Pardon the pun. You need to know what's on your record. You need to know who you're being presented as on paper. You need to know. It's important. And that's that. Sorry, another trauma point.
Amen to that. Listen, trauma has been happening generationally to us over and over and over again. So we lived through it. Not all of us, are cured through it or work through it. But being able to is, part of the process and part of the journey. And when you can constructively go back to how that trauma has shaped you, it can also help you to unbrainwash yourself and a lot of the things that you have learned because of that trauma, right? Or the way that you react or, approach things. So I think that was absolutely beautiful. Before we end this, obviously we have to bring you back because we have so much to talk about, but
sure.
Being that you were touching on that, I really want to now expand into the mental health journey and how that has helped to shape you in creating these films. I know you also did a mental health book, maybe like a couple of years ago, right?
Yes.
So kind of all created this film journey, and then like tell us a little brief synopsis about the films, not too much because we want everybody to go and check them out, and then we'll set you up to come back. Maybe
I'm going to say there's something about VPR that is illuminating parts of me I didn't know it existed. I'm finding answers here. So in talking about the trauma and the self-discovery and, you know, trying to advocate for yourself, I realized that my films, I'm going to start with the films. I wrote a film called Carol's House that talks about the strained relationship between a mother and daughter, a Black mother and daughter. And I wrote the film because a lot of my female friends would have these issues with their daughters.
Can I pause you right there as someone that has actually seen that film? Whew.
I know you can't dive too deep into it. See, I'm instinctively want to ask what's the issue, but then I can't.
It's a mother and daughter, very volatile sort of relationship, and I lived through that my entire life. And when I tell you the way that hit me, I called you after I watched it because it brought me to tears several times and it triggered so many things. But you captured a true piece of life that many young women of color experience, and it's not spoken about. We often speak about like young men and single women raising these young men and blah, blah, blah. We don't talk a lot about these daughters. So first, thank you for creating that film.
You're welcome, even though you called me and said it was triggering.
Yeah, it was as fuck. You
can make someone feel something, bro. Whether it be anger, that's what you need. That's it.
Well, shout out to director Chris H. Green, who's doing most of my films with me. He, in the beginning, and I want to really throw this in there real quick. The way Qiana said it wasn't brought forward in the first instance of it, or the first iteration, when I wrote it, the daughter kills the mother. And he said to me, and this is good for conversation for humanity. He said to me, "Oh, that's far-fetched. Who kills their parents?" And I was so enraged when he said it because I know these people that have had issues. But I just started to send him a rod. I said, first of all, have you heard of the Menendez brothers? Are you okay? Right? That was just the beginning. But there's a litany of children. There were twin girls that killed their mother in Atlanta. A litany of children that set their parents up. There's the boy that his father said you can't play PlayStation and he burned his whole family alive.
Yeah, I think something like that last week or 2 weeks ago, something like that, yeah.
And that, the one I'm talking about happened 2 years ago. So we need to, and this is another conversation, we need to educate ourselves. I know there's so many people that say they don't watch the news. Oh, it's so saddening. You're not in the know because you don't know and you don't want to know. And that's fine. But you can't come sit at a table with the people who are in the know, have done the work, done the research, and are speaking from a place of being informed. And that's what I tell people. If we're going to have conversation, I don't think I'm better than you. I don't think I'm smarter than you. I think that I have more of a penchant for knowledge and the acquisition of it than a lot of people. I want to know what I'm talking about. I want to know if that's changed. I want to know what you know from life experience, because experiential knowledge is just as valuable as any other knowledge, right? Perspective is important. So when I wrote the film, shout out to L, Echo 7 from the R&B group 7669, who played the lead. I just kept feeling compelled because so many women around me were fighting their daughters, breaking broomsticks over them, punching them in the face. We won't say any names, allegedly, but it was
my mom ain't play with my little sister. I mean, my big sister. She ain't play.
And listen, I did see my mother and my sister almost come to blows, because when you're trying to direct young ladies, sometimes young ladies feel like they're grown ladies. It's what it is. And I say this, and this is, I don't want to get into the anatomy, but at a certain point, 13 usually, young women have to be responsible more than young boys for their body. And that in itself creates a level of maturity, because you have a task that could lead to you being embarrassed if you don't take care of yourself, right? There are many things that add to layers of women's responsibility for self and level of awareness. So in that, sometimes it lends itself to maybe the younger girl thinking she's more advanced than she is when dealing with her mother. And then we have the just regular human experience where someone feels that they're at the point where they got it and you may not got it. You know, I have a daughter and her and her mother, shout out to Alondra. My daughter's mother's not, she's a fighter, but when it comes to her kid, she's not that way. And so my daughter, who's a Taurus, is and, and it could be sometimes that your daughter becomes your sister or your mother if you let it go that way. Yeah. So the movie itself, I had to find a way to encapsulate these many experiences that I was hearing. And I wrote some of the actual verbiage from things women told me. And I was trying not to make people who saw it feel like everything they tell me is now my next movie. So, but when you told me
fire though. That's fire though. Bringing the big screen into someone personal like that, fire, and that's why people are gonna gravitate to it.
Thank you. Carol's House.
You got me want to watch this shit. I'm like, hey, what's up?
You gotta go watch it, bro. Amazon Prime.
And it's on Tubi. It's on Tubi for all. Anybody can go to Tubi. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on many other platforms. But I know a lot of people in these times, Tubi is free. You don't even have to sign up. Carol's House. Yeah, please. Yeah, please. And let me know what you think. I wanted to do this big Steven Spielberg production, but I thought to myself, the grittier movies are seeming to resonate more with us. It keeps that level of authenticity,
grounded, and it's just like it's more. It sets the tone.
Yeah, and I wrote it for one location for that everyday life you're talking about, where I really wanted it to. At first, I wanted to put them in the store arguing, and then I was like, you know what? Let's keep the focus in this one place, because I realized that the house itself can be hell. 24 hours, that time your kids are off from school and you got to spend 24 hours with them. You like, who the hell are you?
The fact that you came at it from that angle really creates a genius, because anyone who has lived through that sort of hell, if you will, can understand that layer that you did. There's no scenes anywhere else. It's that constant, right? Coming in the house, coming in the house. This is your experience. Coming in the house, coming back, leaving your room, going into the kitchen. These are your encounters. These are your experiences.
Exactly.
And that's why it was so triggering. I was like, holy shit. Like you
really I didn't know how bothered people were until like I was on the Instagram and people recording videos like, did you ever have to avoid your parents in like certain living spaces just because you'll hear their door close? From the car clicking in the driveway, you'll just head into your room.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, these people are putting it. And I'm like, huh.
It's real.
Very real.
Shout out to my moms. Woo! So that movie, go watch Carol's House when you have a chance. And I'm going to dial it back, but first I want to get to Fault. Fault was my first film that I delivered for this new situation, this new deal I have. And Fault, I used some amazing actors like from Pace University. Shout out to the cast of Fault. They were so professional. They came, there was no girls talking to their boyfriends on the phone. There was no weird scrolling on the phone. Everybody was solely a thespian. They were invested in their craft. If they weren't saying their lines, they were rehearsing their lines with each other. And we did maybe 4 or 5 days, and Chris Green again and myself were floored by the professionalism of these actors. So Fault, which is on Tubi as well, was about a young girl and her boyfriend who they shared a bank account. They both had altruistic intentions. He takes the money and goes and buys a car. At the same time, she's at work and she decides she wants to be a nurse to better their lives. And so she's filing for the application and realizes the money's gone in the bank account. So from then on, she starts losing it, and she has a mental break. Through the mental break, she erases the word fault from the human vocabulary, and it causes like a energy break in the universe. So the world is like going into chaos. The only thing that had to happen, and I really wanted this to resonate with the audience, is the boyfriend had to take accountability for spending the money without communicating with his girl. It was a joint bank account. You were doing something good. And even on set, when he was acting it out, we as minorities, he was like, yo, I took the money, but I'm saying it was, I both of us. And I was like, whoa, you love her. You want this to work. You just need her to understand that she didn't say she was doing anything with the money. You thought you were doing a good deal by getting a car because you guys needed a new car. And through the lack of communication is the only reason that you guys are at a push. It's not because you don't like her, you're a devious boyfriend, she spends money on bags. She's hardworking. She's trying to advance on her side for you guys. And on your side, you're trying to advance, but you didn't communicate this. So finally, when he takes accountability for just saying, I didn't know, I wish I would have told you, but she also didn't say, well, I'm going to take the money for us. They were healed through communication.
Right.
So me, I'm a communicative person. And I find that even the things that we talked about throughout my journey in life, some of the things that have happened to me are being impressed upon my work. And I want others to benefit from, I'm not going to call it trauma, from my experiences. I want people to understand that if you just humble yourself in that moment and take a look at the wider scope of things, there can be that aha moment for you that leads you to be a better person for the situation. It doesn't mean that you're wrong in the way, in totality, but you may be wrong in that instance. And you've got to learn how to come to grips with that yourself. So I do want to give my hats off to Qiana, because Qiana is the reason that I finally started to deliver my films. She called me and talked about a situation from a friend of ours named Melanie, and from Bar TV, shout out to Melanie. And I just wasn't ready at the time. I didn't, because I have ADHD.
Shout out to Melanie. I remember, oh yeah, we had a
we love
you in person.
That's our girl. She's one of the most supportive people in this business. Her and Qiana are like the mothers of people. Like, yeah. If she ain't your mother, she your wife.
Okay.
Yo, these baddies are somebody. All right. So anyway, so when Melanie doubled back to me, independently, they didn't even know that they were both doing the same thing months apart. So that shows you where the love is at for both people to come to me. And I was like, wait, Qiana told me a long time ago, but I wasn't ready. I suddenly got ready. I don't know what happened that God was doing. And I wrote 47 films that we will be dropping. And I went and did Fault with Chris. Shout out to Reggie Huggins from Bedrock Studios. He introduced me to Chris Green. And we did that movie on air. Fault was the first movie. We did it on air. There was an air budget. Shout out to the talent. Shout out to the places that allowed us to film there. Shout out to DJ Tech One, who came on the tail end to jump in on the scene.
Okay, Tech One.
Yeah, I mean, again, having a network
the movie
of people.
star. I can see it.
Nah, Tech One came through. He had his own wardrobe. He was ready.
And you know he lost weight. So all that shit, man, you heard?
You already know he was pulling down. But I'm in one of those, 493,000 films that you've written. I would just like another little part. I had so much fun shooting with you. Little baby.
So I was going there. So Qiana, who I called to be in one of the films, she was busy. Yes. But she was a familiar space and will always be, because we did the first little project I did with K Boogie from Spanish Fly Media.
Oh man, so much fun.
It was supposed to be a music video for my song Winners and Losers, but he was like, let's not do a performance video. Let's actually do a short movie. And I was like, you know, for me, the issue was always calling people, yo, you want to do this? Yo, you around? Right. I don't really like all of that. I'm a one-man army. I'm like, yo, where I got to be at? Cool. When I got to start calling 10 people and people like, oh, my kids were sick, so that's why I ain't show up. But you call me 3 weeks later, not that day. All of it be too much for me. So K Boogie, shout out to Spanish Fly Media and K Boogie because he helped put that thing together so flawlessly. Kiana showed up. Everybody was go watch Winners and Losers on YouTube. It's out there. So, and we're gonna take that and extend it for Tubi. We're working on that now. I just want to say I had more fun shooting it with you than you probably did with me.
No way. Are you kidding me?
You kept it litty. I mean, and then always having the beautiful ride or die next to you, because who she plays in the film is a beautiful ride or die. Yes, you just like, what's up? It's gonna be okay. So yeah, the next film's man, it's gonna be fire. So shout out to Kiana, Melanie, K Boogie, my network of people, Echo 7. Y'all people be really coming through. Chris Green, y'all, Reggie Huggins. Wow. I got some people. You know when you don't think you got no people, but you start naming
when
them.
You're saying them, all this, I want you to come to you. Like, oh shit. I got people that care. People that care about what I'm trying to create, and that's what matters.
That's a fact.
You see how they both spun back around in those 2 month or month period, and they both gave you the same energy, and you were ready the second time they spun back. That's life.
Crazy. Nah, it's crazy. So I did the soundtrack for both movies. You know, we don't want no songs from nobody else because we are a musician, and unless you want to sing, and that also let me know that that's one of our strengths. If you can write the movie, do the music for the movie, be in the movie, you got friends that are your network. It's a family event. At the end of the day, you're strengthening the people around you. You're also shedding the skin of, I don't have anybody, and spotlighting those people at the same time. You know, you start to get in a place where you think no one's on the boat, but you just didn't look on the other deck. They're downstairs partying, waiting for you to say, come upstairs. So, yeah. And listen, I'm gonna move that real quick because Melanie then came back, and now I have a podcast. We did a deal for a podcast that is called the Pretty Peculiar People Puzzle Podcast. I had to make it like a because I'm a rapper.
One more time.
The Pretty Peculiar People Puzzle Podcast. The Pretty Peculiar People Puzzle Podcast. Is you okay? So,
what's the acronym for it?
T4P.
Okay, cool. I have VPR.
I love that.
Yeah, so you thought you So shout out to my girl Echo 7 again. She's my co-host from the R&B group 7669. She sang background for SWV. I'll be sure she's fire. She's everywhere with me. I got a network of baddies. Wait a minute, I should put a TV show together. Hold on a second. All right.
Go ahead.
My bad. So we're doing that. That's available every Wednesday on all streaming podcast forums and platforms. And now I'm going back to music at the same time because there's a lot of people around me, and I'm going to start with the legendary Sweet Tea that have projects that I'm working on that make me feel 12 again. Because Sweet Tea is somebody that we all had her album cover staring at it in the room like.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, and not only is she beautiful as you know, her presentation, the aesthetics, her spirit, her drive for music, her humanity is so refreshing. It's almost impossible to believe that any of the people that I've named, including yourself, Kiana, that are so selfless. I almost say, where is this reservoir that you people are getting this I'm here for you from? Because it's like boundless. I'm like, How are you like this?
Oh,
Shout out to your.
That is keeping your reservoir filled, right? And also not giving to everybody. Like everybody's not going to get the same energy that you get from me. You know what I'm saying? That FMI gets from me, and I'm going to be kind always. But there's boundaries and there's space and time and energy of my own that I protect. And I think when you do that, you find that you can, because the same way I pour into you, you pour into me. There's no, you know what I mean? It's not like a one-sided benefit thing, and it's not done with any like thought of, okay, well, last time I called and we spoke for 4 minutes and I didn't
corny shit,
right? Like that corny shit.
Say that again, bro, because I got, you know what, I dudes, and I'm gonna say this to dudes. Y'all can say whatever y'all want about me. I resonate from the place of a dude, and y'all dudes who get on the phone and be like, yeah, bro, what's up? Even though we ain't speak for 2 weeks, are you keeping count of how long?
That's weird.
Right.
We spoke.
Right.
That's some weird shit. Like niggas don't got full lives. Like the world stopped when I hang up that phone.
Listen, yo, FMI, listen. The moment you pop through, it's like you was here yesterday. If we family, we family. I don't need a thermometer. Let me test let me see it. Let me test his temperature. I don't need that. I don't need. I'm saying, what's the last thing he did for me? Even if I can bless you right now, I don't need to go through my book to see in my journal if you laced me when you got that bag before. I'm going to say, this is somebody I like. I'm going to bless this person. Right. They don't have no contingencies. Unless I don't fuck with you, then that's a contingency. But for me, I see these people that say things like, you know, this make me sick to my stomach. Even though we don't speak every day. I don't talk to nobody every day. To my mom, sister, my shorty, like every day is wow.
Right.
You know how many albums I'm working on? I'm in the gym. I'm doing movies. Are you okay? I'm doing a podcast. I'm helping people with their stuff. And you want to talk to me every day for free?
Right.
What are we doing?
Say it again. Pudgee Tha Phat.
I'm just saying.
My thing is, I get distasteful with anyone that feels like they have ownership upon my time, and that's anyone.
Yes.
Because I never look at anyone that I have ownership upon their time. We all choose to be here with free spirit, free will, with anything that we do. Answering the phone, the text message back. We all show affection in different ways. That answer of the phone call may be affection to someone, whereas a text, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the minute you start expecting it, and you think that time is owed to you,
okay, wait. I just want to color that a little bit. That might be your version, but I'm gonna tell you what I do say to people. This how I cut you off right away. I have 2 degrees in communication. I want to be very clear. If I text you, you can call back because you one up. But if you don't text back and it never happened, it can never happen again.
Right.
The moment you text me after that, I don't know you.
Right.
Because text begets a text, call begets a call.
Right.
I don't. Right now, I'm going through something with a very. They're not as powerful as they are in the industry, but somebody told me, they was like, yo, so and so want to talk to you. We got a song placement. I said, no, I'm not calling them. They said, oh, but it's a Grammy award-winning artist. I said, I don't care.
Right.
The person didn't call me when they were supposed to call me. Right. So, oh, you making a person? I said, I'm making it business, because in business, you call back when people call your business. I'm not doing that, because you let people yo-yo you, and that's what you get. So when you going up and down and in and out and they hot and cold with you, you enable that. Me, I'm straightforward. If I call you, listen, your parents is in the hospital, you did whatever, and that's gonna work once or twice. I can't do the if you continuously sick, I'm gonna move on. But if you was busy that day and you got back to me, but I'm not going to keep getting to you and you never get back to me. Yeah. That's wild. It's wild. We not 20. It could have rocked for me at 16, bro. I could have took absent-mindedness at 16. I'm going to tell you what I just told my man. I'm trying not to curse on him so bad. Me and my man, we tight right now. But he had been standing me up for the studio, leaving me sitting, waiting. For, he want to record in my studio. Right. Leaving me waiting. Then when he finally called, I said, bro, listen, this is where we at with it. You got to pay now. I can't look you out. It's nothing. I said, because if you can go through a chick, if you can go pick up your kids, if you can go visit your parents, if I can see you at the bar on your Instagram, it's fuck you. Right. Because you said fuck me. Yeah. That's it. I said, I want to be very clear. Do not call me and set up nothing. If you can't cancel it, hours will give me back my time. Give me back my time.
That's a fact.
I don't. If I put time aside for you, and that fucking 4 hours that go by that you went on to do what you want in the hotel with shorty, you can never call me again. They could say you just had an accident. I don't care.
You picking and choosing. So you good enough to tell me to stop my time for you.
And I hear you.
When it came time for you,
I hear you. I
understood you. I feel you.
I over, as they say in Nigeria, I oversabi. Facts. Let's get to it. Listen, I'm a really nice person, but being really nice at sometimes gets really tiring. So treat me right. I'm gonna treat you right, and don't act funny when I give you back you.
Right.
I'm just doing it. This is you. I'm doing you. You don't like it on me. You like it when you wear it.
Yeah.
You don't like it when I wear it.
Right.
Yeah, nah, we matching. We matching. Even if sometimes my matching energy ain't doing what you do, because I tell people I don't model bad behavior. If I don't like it on you while I'm doing it, right? But I'm still gonna ignore you.
Yes.
Because that's my version. Is not. Nah, I don't want it.
That's also my version. Right.
You know my line that everybody laughing at. I'd be like, I don't want it. Send it back to the kitchen. I don't want it. I didn't know what it is. That's it. So it's a great segue for how I wrote my book, How to Become Mentally Unbreakable.
Yes.
Which is on Amazon by Tracy A. Horton. That's the Govey. And I started to talk to a lot of people, and before my father passed, he would say things like I would talk to them about how he felt about stuff, and I'm like, people need to do such. He said, oh, everybody's not as strong as you. I was like, then they need to get like me, because I've been through things just like anybody else, but I'm not walking around with like Batman with a scowl on my face my entire life because I brush my teeth. I want you to that's it. I don't want to be walking around here mad at life like y'all because I don't like how it looks. Why would I do that? I don't like that on them. Why would I put that on me? Okay. So at the end of the day, I feel like if we gonna be out here saying we want thing and we want this type of energy to come to us, that's what we should be resonating outward. Right. If you're not doing that, you shouldn't be looking for something that you did not put in the oven. I open the oven, it's not in there. You ain't put nothing in there. There's nothing in the oven. Like, what are we talking about? So when I wrote that book, it's just because people kept telling me, oh, you know, the way you don't take stuff personal, the way you move forward. I take it personally if it's personal, but I don't make it the be all to end all. Oh, yes. To all of you who are saying end all to be all, can y'all stop? It's be all to end all. It comes from Shakespeare. Thank you. Be all to end all. Because every time y'all say end, you know, that ain't the end all be all. I'm like, it's definitely not, because that ain't the same. Okay. Sorry, I've got a lot of trauma.
It's okay. We got a lot of tangents. You have dropped so many jewels here today. I don't even know where to begin. We love to end the show with a blessing of just like positivity, motivation for those that are listening. And there's so much through your journey that we can all kind of extract something, I'm sure, that will inspire us. But before we end today, first of all, again, we got to get you back, whether for it's a one-on-one or another album listening release, however we do it, we got to get you back. We got to get some more footage with you. I want you to tell everybody where they can find you. Tell them again where they can find your films. And then I want you to end us with some love and light for the people, some words of inspo.
Yes,
all right, so let me just say this real quick. I want to shout out to everybody that I'm working with that's pouring in, because G Weeks from Boston, super producer, worked with Music Soul Child and the Funky Bunch, working with Amir and Pete Rock. Shout out to G Weeks from Boston, because he has been a big part of the rebirth in my brain. Shout out to DJ Tech One, who's always been there. Shout out to VPR, of course, but I hate stating the obvious, because FMI is always available to play a joint. Kiana's always there to make sure the joints is getting made. So that's it. And Sweet Tea, I definitely need to say, to have somebody who inspired me to be an MC, keep inspiring me at this point. And her new project is coming out. She got a new single that I helped her with called Fallen Soldiers. And her new album is, to know that somebody can be that dedicated to anything is inspiring to me as a man. that you can stay committed. When you see commitment on other people, it look good. I want to wear that. My films, Carol House in full. Shout out to Melanie and Kiana for inspiring me to definitely take my film stuff seriously and stop letting stuff sit in the computer. Chris H. Green, K Boogie, all those people who've been around me, even DWI who let us come to his studio in the beginning and rock out. I want to say that's really where my focus is. I got new music coming, a new single called Money Drip with Nova Price and Push Proper from the Bronx, my bros. And I'm looking forward to making new music. You can find me on Pudgee Tha Phat Bastard, PUDGEETHAPHATBASTARD on most platforms. If they don't allow the bastard part, then it's Pudgee Tha Phat, which is PUDGEETHAPHAT. Because pretty hot and tempted. That's from back in the days. Don't ask me about the spelling. And that's it. Oh, and listen, and go listen to my podcast, yo. The Pretty Peculiar People Puzzle podcast, which the latest episode is with me and my aunt Janet talking about withholding, which is how people be withholding sex and money and relationships and all that. She came and brought the elder perspective, and it's just so much coming. I don't like to talk about myself, but when you ask me, I do what I gotta do. So I want to send y'all all out with love and light. And please, if you can help somebody, I believe in gatekeeping. Don't get me wrong. I believe in keeping what's yours sacred and the things that you've earned in the relationships. I believe in holding on to them and being a liaison or being the conduit or a middleman. I believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can help someone and you can give them the gateway, even if you got to micromanage, because that's how you do your business, don't hold back. Don't keep the people around you from getting out of your bank account, because if you keep making them broke, they're gonna keep asking you for money. Okay. So why don't you help them get lit in a little way so that we can all be at the same table? Bank account might not be the same, talent may not be the same, looks may not be as lit, but we all at the same table and we all eating, and we got a network of superpower people. So that being said, thank you to Kiana and FMI for me for always being people who elevate other people and celebrate. When you could just be up here, y'all could have had a show where y'all just talk about what's going on in the world and your opinion, right? But instead, you choose to push people forward. So thank you for that, because we need that. And I send everybody out with love and light. And again, continue to help other people. It's important. Be as available as you can.
I love it.
Pudge, you the man, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
I appreciate you, superstar.
You legit on to something with your filmmaking. You're creative. Now, not a lot of people were. They're fully creative. You are one of those where I can come to you in different aspects. I'm just like, nah, your mind is working. You ain't just stop the music. You ain't just thought you.
It's God in the people. It's God in the people. And shout out to Arc of Noise, because Frankie from Trackmasters and his twin brother is still a part of my career. And he did my first single, Checking Out the Avenue. And to have those 30-something-year-old relationships says a lot about the people in the relationship. It means that y'all ain't weird out somewhere and not text back or call.
Back, right?
You got people in our comments going on about that conversation. That's what G Week commented. We see where your priorities are now when they don't have time for you. So people are agreeing with you, Paul. You saying that real shit today, and they appreciate it.
They and I didn't even tell them I was gonna be on. So shout out to the people who be fine.
Yeah, these followers kept going up. Like I was watching things 16, 20. I was like, oh, okay.
Listen, I appreciate everyone.
Shout out to the people that's been asking him for an interview.
When it works, it works.
They've been in my DM. I'm unavailable. I'm gonna say this one more thing. When you come to an artist, because they asked me to do shows in Colombia, but the bread wasn't breading.
Yeah.
When you asked me to leave my crib and it's comfortable and I made a life for myself and I'm not 20 and I'm not running for my parents because they're in the house.
Right.
and my bed is bedded and my refrigerator is refrigerated. If you ask me to leave my crib and just because you want my talent, it gotta match.
Yeah.
So don't send me no request to do a show, come to your nothing if it's not looking like, I know you're an adult and you're taking time out and you got to get a cut and your fit got to be lit. And I know how you come. Like, I was rocking custom made everything in $4,000 chains. I don't need that, but you better, I'm not a t-shirt at the chicken spot rapper.
Right.
I'm not, don't do that. Like, that's why I walked away. Like, they doing what for how much? Nah, I don't want that. Right. So if you gonna ask people, if you're gonna ask FMI, now listen, if you're a friend, I might do it off the love. Yeah. But there's still an investment in there of friendship, right? Yeah. You poured into me, like we talked about the reservoir. That's right. But if you're not a friend and you coming at me as a stranger, you need to come with stranger bread. That's right. Stranger bread is what you need to come with.
That should be the episode.
I want stranger bread, bro. Yeah, if it ain't stranger bread and you a stranger, we can't talk because something's strange.
Something's
the strange, the change ain't strange, and the strange ain't strange.
And that being said, one final thing for me, for the people who don't see me doing the things they think I should be doing, I'm doing things. They just got to make sense for me monetarily and spiritually. Everything ain't everything. And what I love is that the industry is uncovering itself now. And maybe you people will understand why some people just didn't want to dance on stage no more, because I ain't want to dance in a bedroom for free. Right? So at the end of the day, if it's stranger bread, it better look like stranger bread. That's it.
Feel me?
That's it. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm bringing fire music. I'm bringing fire films. I'm bringing fire books. And for all of y'all who want to see what it looks like to have tenacity and love for the actual culture and not the shenanigans, I'm that. Sweet Tea is that. G Weeks is that. People around me, Nova Prices. People taking, I can't even say what their jobs is, but people taking official jobs and still writing bars. I look at them like a god. Like, I couldn't do it, because the moment the bread is breading from a real job, I don't know, y'all. Y'all rap? What's that? Right? So I'm just saying, shout out to the dedicateds who did it like back in the day. Because in the beginning, they had jobs. You know what I'm saying? Grandmaster Flash and all the people had jobs. Melly Mel, they was working somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Andre Harrell and them, like, you coming from, you working a job in a suit and then come rap in a suit. You a real rapper.
That's dedication to your craft. But listen, guys, we got to get out of here. It has been lit. Pudge, you are the effing best. Thank you so much, bro.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for the transparency. Thank you for the story. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your fun. Thank you for all of that. All of this, all of that. Thank you for all of that.
All right. So we get into it. We'll be back on VPR Radio. This is Pudgee Tha Phat Bastard. Oops.
Love you guys. See you next week.